Zari limped through the rust-colored alleyways of Sector 9, metal grinding beneath her skin with every step. Her left leg implant sparked again, blue light flickering along the joint like a dying firefly. She winced but didn't stop. Stopping meant weakness. And in this part of the city, weakness could get you robbed, killed, or worse, sold. The sky above was dark, filled with smoky clouds and blinking hover banners advertising weapons, fake IDs, and scrap surgery. Zari ignored the flashing offers. She'd seen what happened to aliens who trusted those chop shops. Her last repair had been in one. That's why her legs screamed with every step now. She had once been a proud Inari scout, tall and fast, part of the Queen's advanced infiltration team. That was before the war. Before the Human Defense Front tore through her people's forces like fire through dry vines. She was lucky to be alive. Most of her unit had died screaming in that jungle ambush on Urix Prime. Now, she was alone, exiled, forgotten, a limping half-machine. Alien trying to survive in the ruins of a world that hated the past. A loud crash came from the scrapyard gates up ahead. Zari ducked fast, sliding against the cold wall. Her hand went to the knife strapped to her waist. Another crash. Then the sound of a voice low, angry, and very much human. "Damn it, Rusty. That's the third time you fried the fusion coil." She peeked over the edge of a stack of broken ship wings and saw a human male kneeling beside a service robot, sparks flying around him. His sleeves were rolled up. Oil smudged his face. He wasn't military, too scruffy, too relaxed. Civilian. Maybe. He looked young, not dangerous. But humans were full of surprises. Zari turned to leave, but her leg locked up mid-step. A sharp pain shot through her hip joint. She let out a soft cry and collapsed onto her side with a clang. The humans. Head jerked up. "Hello?" He called out. She held her breath. "Someone there?" He followed the sound, walking around the corner until he spotted her on the ground. He froze. She froze too. His eyes met hers wide, surprised, but not hostile. "Whoa," he said softly. "You okay?" Zari didn't answer. Her breath was heavy. Her implant buzzed again. He stepped closer, hands open, palms forward. "Hey, I'm not gonna hurt you. You're a Nari, right?" She blinked. No one had spoken her species' name with kindness in years. "You're limping." "Vat implants. Corroded as hell." He crouched down, inspecting her leg like a curious mechanic. "I'm guessing you haven't had it serviced in a while." Still no answer. He sighed and sat on the dusty floor beside her. "Name's Matt. I run this scrapyard." "Wasn't expecting company today." She finally spoke, her voice hoarse. "You are human." He raised an eyebrow. "Guilty. You fought in the war?" He shook his head. "Nah, my brother did. Came back in pieces." "Me? I fix things." Zari pushed herself up slowly, back against the wall. "You fix humans, or machines?" "Both, if you count old robots and grumpy aliens," he said with a grin. "What's your name?" "Zari." "Well, Zari," he said, pulling a small scanner from his belt. "Can I take a look at your leg?" She narrowed her eyes. "Why would you help me?" He hesitated before answering. "Because I hate seeing things broken that don't need to stay broken." She didn't move for a moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. Matt brought the scanner close. "Wow, your leg's a mess. Who patched this up last time? A blind mole with a soldering stick?" She let out the ghost of a laugh, surprising even herself. "I can fix this," he said, standing. "But I'll need parts. Give me an hour." Zari's eyes narrowed again. "I have no money." Matt stopped and looked down at her. "I didn't ask for payment." She stared at him in silence. He shrugged. "Everyone deserves to walk without pain." With that, he turned back toward the scrapyard, calling for his drone assistant. Zari watched him disappear behind the rusted hulls, confusion knotting her thoughts. Why would a human help her? No tricks, no bargain, just help? She felt her fingers tremble. She wasn't sure if it was fear, exhaustion, or something else. Far above them, a black drone circled. It wasn't one of Matt's. Someone was watching. Zari waited in silence, her back pressed to the metal wall of the scrapyard. Her leg implant still hissed and sparked, but the pain had dulled into a slow throb. Strange how quiet it felt now, compared to the storm inside her mind. A human, helping her, no payment, no demand. She glanced toward the direction Matt had gone. He was hidden behind piles of broken ship parts, welding something. From time to time, she heard him curse softly or talk to his robot Rusty. He had called it. She didn't trust this. The war had taught her one thing. Humans were clever. Too clever. They always had angles, but this one didn't act like a soldier or a spy. He was more like a stray dog with tools and too much curiosity. Still, something about him bothered her more than his kindness. Something in the air. She looked up again. The black drone that had been circling earlier was gone. Now? But Zari's instincts didn't relax. Inari scouts were trained to sense movement, to read quiet shifts in wind, light, even rhythm in the city's noise. Something was off. The hum of the scrapyard had changed. Matt returned holding a worn metal case, tools clinking inside. Found a processor core from a Zirian leg unit. Should be close enough to patch your implant's interface. She looked at the part. That's high grade. He nodded, sitting cross-legged in front of her. Someone dumped it last week. Don't ask me why. You're just giving it to me? I told you I fix things. You're a thing. I mean, no offense, he added quickly, realizing how that sounded. She blinked at him. You are strange, he grinned. Takes one to know one. Matt got to work, prying open the lower panel of her leg. Zari tensed as cool air touched the inner cables. He moved gently, humming as he worked, as if repairing an old toy. She flinched once, and he paused. Sorry, that connection's close to your nerve line. You know alien biology? Not much. But I've patched up worse. Once fixed a Mechary gladiator who tried to weld a laser into his spine. That was a messy day. She didn't respond. Her eyes wandered again. This time she spotted it movement at the edge of the fence. A shimmer, like light bending. Camouflage. Her voice dropped. We are being watched. Matt froze mid-solder. What? Left side of the yard? Low too. The ground could be cloaked. He turned subtle. Friend of yours? No. He tapped his wristband. Rusty, go check Sector Delta 4. Quiet mode. A soft beep followed, and the spider-shaped robot skittered off into the junk piles. Should I stop fixing? Matt asked. No. Finish quickly. He nodded and kept working faster now. Sparks flew as he linked wires, adjusted the core, and sealed the panel. Her foot twitched. She felt the pulse returning to her artificial tendons. Try moving it, he said. Zari pressed down and slowly lifted the leg. It moved smoother. No spark, no grind. It's working. Told you, Matt said, wiping his forehead. All good mechanics know how to listen. Machines speak. Her lips twitched, almost a smile. A sudden crash echoed through the scrapyard. Rusty flew backwards from the junk wall and smashed into the dirt near them. Its lights flickered. Half its legs were missing. Matt jumped to his feet. Rusty. Zari was already up, crouching, scanning the perimeter. Her leg was stable, now strong. Again. Then a voice boomed from the shadows. Step away from the Inari. Two figures appeared, shimmering into visibility. Tall, silver armor, not human. Not Inari either. Zari recognized the symbol on their chests. Realtech bounty agents. High-grade enforcers. One of them pointed a pulse rifle at Matt. You are harboring a fugitive. Matt raised his hands. What are you talking about? I'm just helping her walk. She is wanted, the second agent said, stepping closer. War crimes. Classified intelligence. Orders are to take her alive or dead if she resists. Zari's heart pounded. Her jaw clenched. I am no criminal. The first agent turned to her. That's not your choice anymore. Matt stepped forward. She's injured. She hasn't hurt anyone. You can't just take her. Interference is treason. Then charge me with it, Matt snapped. Zari stared at him, shocked. What kind of human was this? The agent fired. A warning shot hit the ground beside Matt's foot, kicking up dust. That's when Zari moved. Faster than they expected. With her leg now working, she launched herself forward, grabbed the first agent's weapon, and twisted. Metal creaked. The rifle broke in half. She spun, kicked him in the chest, sending him crashing into a pile of old ship thrusters. Matt ducked as the second agent raised his weapon. A burst of light flew past him. Zari tackled the agent before he could. Fire again. They rolled across the ground, dust flying, limbs tangling in battle. Her blade came out. One quick strike to the side of his armor. Sparks. A grunt, then silence. Both agents lay motionless. Zari stood slowly, breathing hard. Matt looked at her, wide-eyed. You just took down 2 armed bounty hunters. She shrugged, hiding her pain. I'm a Nari. He nodded, still stunned. Well? Remind me never to charge you for repairs. She turned to the fence. More might come. We have to go, she said. Matt didn't hesitate. Let's move. I know a place. Zari followed him into the maze of junk, unsure of what lay ahead, but sure of one thing. This human was unlike any she had ever known. Zari followed Matt as they weaved through tight passages made of towering junk. Old fighter wings leaned against shattered cargo containers. The metallic scent of rust and ozone clung to the air. Every step echoed like a drumbeat in her chest. Behind them, smoke rose from the bodies of the fallen bounty agents. They'll track us, Zari warned. Realtech agents always travel in pairs, but they signal for backup if they're down too long. Matt nodded without looking back. There's an old tunnel under the repair bay, leads to the grid channels. If we reach it, they'll lose our signal. Zari had never heard a human speak so calmly while running from certain death. He didn't carry a weapon. He didn't flinch. He just kept moving forward like he'd planned for this his whole life. They reached a large, half-collapsed shuttle. Matt grabbed the handle of a hidden hatch and yanked it open. A gust of stale, dry air rushed out. Go, he said. Zari slid inside first, landing in the dark corridor. Matt dropped in behind her and shut the hatch. The tunnel was narrow and full of thick cables running along the floor and walls. Faint lights blinked within the wires like sleeping stars. I touched the side of the tunnel. Power lines, abandoned city grid. No one uses this anymore. But it stretches beneath 5 sectors. They moved quickly, boots echoing against the metal. For a moment, the noise of the scrapyard faded above them. Only their breath and the quiet hum of old tech filled the air. Why are Realtech agents after you? Matt finally asked. Zari didn't answer right away. You said something about war crimes. I didn't commit any, she said, her voice low. I learned something I wasn't supposed to. About the war. About the humans who started it. Matt slowed. You mean my people started the war? Not your kind. Not the civilians. A secret group. They attacked an Inari scout ship first. Blamed us. The council covered it up. I found the data file in the wreckage. I was marked a traitor for not deleting it. Matt stopped completely. So they're hunting you to erase the truth? Yes, he looked stunned. You still have it? Zari nodded. Hidden in my spine implant. But I can't access it without the right interface. Matt ran a hand through his messy hair. That explains why they want you dead. That file could collapse the whole peace treaty. They would burn planets to keep it quiet. They kept moving until the tunnel split in two. Matt hesitated, trying to remember. Right path goes toward the old tram system, he said. Left one hits the water filtration center. Both lead out. Zari looked down both ways. Her eyes narrowed. Someone's coming from the right. Matt didn't question her. He turned left. Then water it is. As they ran, something beeped on Matt's wristband. He checked. Damn, someone hacked Rusty's feed. They've got visuals of the yard. They'll know which tunnel we took. They pushed harder, jumping over fallen cables and rusted grates. Zari's leg held up, but her breathing was sharp. She hadn't moved like this in months. Her muscles burned. Ahead? Dim lights revealed a large chamber. Water tanks lined the walls, some broken, leaking into puddles. Pipes hung low like vines in a swamp. We can hide here, Matt whispered. Signal interference is strong near moving water. Zari crouched near a corner, eyes on the shadows. Matt pulled a small cube from his belt. I can create a signal. Ghosts make them think we went the other way. But it'll take a few seconds. Do it. He pressed a few buttons and tossed the cube down a side tunnel. It beeped and released a burst of static. A fake heat trail spread through the walls. Zari watched him work, impressed. You are not just a mechanic, he gave a tired smile. Let's say I had interesting teachers. A soft hiss echoed through the chamber. Zari stood instantly. They're here. Matt grabbed a pipe off the floor. Stay behind me. She blinked. That's stupid, he shrugged. Yeah, I get that a lot. From the shadows emerged a new figure, sleek armor, dark violet, with blinking eyes on the helmet. Not Ral Tech. This one moved like a ghost. Inari female, the figure said. You have the file. Hand it over. Zari stepped forward. Who sent you? No one. I came on my own. I want the truth too. Matt looked confused. Wait, you're not with them? The figure slowly removed their helmet. Underneath was a young woman not fully human. Hybrid features. Smooth gray skin, pale blue eyes. My father was Inari. My mother was human. Zari. Froze. I heard stories of what you escaped with. I never believed it. But I traced the bounty signals here. I want to help. Zari kept her hand near her blade. Why should I believe you? The hybrid raised her hands. Because if you don't, we all burn, and they win. Matt glanced at Zari. You said they'd burn planets. That's not a metaphor, is it? No, Zari said quietly. It's a warning. She looked back at the hybrid. Then prove yourself. How? Help. U.S. escaped Sector 9 alive. The hybrid gave a slow nod. Then follow me. Zari didn't trust her yet. But she also didn't have many choices left, and the tunnel behind them had already gone dark. Zari followed the hybrid girl through the dripping filtration tunnels. Matt walked close behind, pipe still in hand. No one spoke for a while. The air was heavy with silence and rust. Water dripped from the ceiling and echoed like slow footsteps. The girl moved fast but careful, checking corners, pausing to scan old scanners with her wristband. She knew this place. Knew how to move like a ghost? Name? Zari finally asked. The girl turned slightly. Kale. I was born on the Station City Helix 9. Never belonged to either side. Inari wouldn't accept me. Humans feared me. Matt asked, how'd you find us? I worked at a listening post once. Learned how to track bounty hunter signals. When I saw Realtech agents moving again, I guessed who they were hunting. There aren't many Inari left on this side of the galaxy. Zari looked her over again. Gray skin, smooth like polished stone. Eyes that glowed faint blue in the dark. She really was both. Neither fully human nor fully Inari. A child of war. Kale stopped near a broken console and opened a rusted access panel. She began reconnecting wires like she'd done it 100 times before. "This will shut off the sector's beacon," she said. "No more location pings. Realtech can't follow what they can't see." Zari stepped back, arms crossed. "You said you want the truth. Why?" Kale kept working as she spoke. "My father died with no honor. The record said he betrayed the Inari, said he helped start the war. But my mother, before she vanished, told me he was trying to stop it. I need to know which version was real." Zari softened. "What was his name? Commander Vielande?" Zari stiffened. She knew that name. He had been her superior officer. Brave, loyal, lost in the same jungle battle she barely escaped. "Your father died a hero," Zari said quietly. "He saved 10 of us by staying behind." Kale's hands froze. Her voice dropped. "Then the council lead," Matt sighed. "A lot of lies are buried under official stories." Kale finished rewiring the console. A loud click echoed and a blue light flickered on. That should blind any tracking satellites for a few hours. She stood, wiping her hands on her coat. "There's a ship hidden outside the walls of Sector 9. Belonged to my mother. I've kept it hidden beneath a wreck." Zari raised an eyebrow. "A working ship?" Kale nodded. "Partially. Needs a fuel cell swap, but I hid a few cells nearby." Matt looked at Zari. "That's our best shot out of here." Zari hesitated. "How do we know it's not a trap?" Kale looked her in the eyes. "You don't. But I could have turned you in already." "I didn't." Zari said nothing for a moment. Then she nodded. "We move now." They exited the water chamber and entered a narrow tunnel that sloped upward. Zari walked with more strength now, her repaired legs supporting her well. Matt glanced at her a few times, still amazed at how fast she moved now. "I still think it's crazy," he said. "That something this big war, secrets, bounty hunters, just found its way to my scrapyard." Zari gave him a look. "And yet, you didn't run," he grinned. "Fixing broken things is kind of my thing, remember?" At the top of the tunnel, Kale stopped them. "Past this hatch is the outer fence. There's a drone patrol route. We'll have 60 seconds between passes." She pulled a round disc from her bag and stuck it onto the wall. The hatch buzzed and opened slowly with a mechanical groan. The night sky hit them like cold air from a freezer. Stars shimmered above a ruined cityscape. Broken towers. Dead signs. Faint lights flickering far in the distance. Kale led them across a gravel path, staying low. Zari's eyes scanned the sky. Then she saw it. The ship thought it was hidden beneath the rusted remains of an old war cruiser, covered in thick metal panels, camouflaged with dust and junk. But it was real, sleek, small, fast, and probably powerful. As they reached the side hatch, a red light blinked on Kale's wristband. She looked at it and her face went pale. "They're coming." 2 heat signatures. Fast approach. Zari's eyes narrowed. "More Realtech?" "No, these are heavier. Military grade. Not bounty hunters." Matt jumped into the ship and started looking for the fuel cell slots. "Tell me where the backup is," Kale pointed. "Behind that broken cannon mount. 2 units in a crate." Zari rushed over and used her blade to pry open the rusted lid. Inside were 2 glowing blue cells. She tossed one to Matt. "Hurry." Matt slid it into place. The ship whirred softly. Kale sealed the hatch. "They'll arrive in less than 30 seconds." Zari stood near the ship's entry ramp, blades drawn. Her breath was steady. She wasn't running this time, but something felt wrong. Kale's eyes widened. Wait, the signal's bouncing. Someone's already inside. Zari turned fast. Too late. From behind the control panel inside the ship, a figure rose, black armor, no insignia, and a strange green visor that flickered with static. Not bounty hunters. Not Reltech. Something worse. The figure spoke. You should've stayed hidden. Zari reacted first. She lunged toward the figure in the cockpit, blades drawn, moving like a shadow with speed enhanced by her repaired leg. But the masked enemy was ready. He raised his hand and energy pulsed from his palm. Like a wave. Zari was thrown back, crashing into the inner wall of the ship. Sparks flew as she hit a panel. Pain shot through her side, but she gritted her teeth and stood again. Matt rushed to her side. Zari, I'm fine, she hissed. He has shock tech. Be careful. Kale aimed her wrist weapon and fired a bolt of plasma, but the masked figure moved fast, too fast for someone his size. The shot missed, hitting a light panel and exploding it. The figure finally spoke, voice distorted through the helmet. The file is in your spinal core. You will give it to me. Zari wiped blood from her lip. Who are you? He stepped forward. I am the Reclaimer. I collect lost truths before they become dangerous. Matt narrowed his eyes. You mean you erase them? Kale joined them inside, sealing the ramp behind her. He's not part of any known group. I've heard rumors of people like him, cleaners sent by the Shadow Councils. Erase witnesses. White memories, or worse. Reclaimer raised his arm. I offer one chance. Surrender the data. You will not be harmed. Zari stepped in front of Matt and Kale. Liar. You don't come alone for peaceful talks. The Reclaimer moved with sudden speed, grabbing Zari by the throat and slamming her against the wall. Her feet kicked in the air. Sparks burst from her leg as she struggled. Matt shouted, charging with a wrench, but a shock pulse knocked him back too. He slammed into the floor and didn't get up. Kale fired again, this time hitting the Reclaimer's side. His armor sparked, and he dropped Zari. She hit the ground, coughing. Kale shouted, Zari, access the file now. Use the ship's interface. I need more time. Zari shouted back, crawling to the ship's terminal. The Reclaimer moved toward her again. Kale tackled him from behind. It was like slamming into a wall. He barely moved. But it was enough. Zari slammed her palm against the control panel, fingers twitching as the ship tried to sync with her implant. Password. Voice match required. The console blinked. She spoke through gasps. Inari code, Velene, protocol, last light. The screen flashed green. Spinal data interface unlocked. The file began to upload into the ship's backup memory. Reclaimer threw Kale off with one swing and stormed toward Zari. Again. Too late. The data was transferred. The ship spoke in a calm voice. File secured. Transmission shield engaged. The Reclaimer stopped. What have you done? Zari stared at him, bruised but alive. Now you can't destroy it, even if you kill me. The ship's engines began to hum. Matt groaned from the floor. I hate fighting people with glowing hands. Kale helped him up. We need to get out of here now? Zari backed up to the cockpit controls. We can outrun him. Not yet. He'll damage the ship before we lift off. Matt limped to a side panel. Then we trap him. What? Kale asked. Matt yanked off the cover of an emergency fuse relay. I rerouted the power system earlier. If I cross this wire, he pulled two thin blue cables, I can overload the ship's venting system. Zari caught on fast. The coolant lines will flood the cabin. He's armored. He won't die, Matt said. But he won't be able to see or move fast in cryofog. Gives us the jump. Do it, Zari said. Matt slammed the wires together. A loud whoosh filled the ship. Frost burst from the vents like white mist. The temperature dropped instantly. Everything turned hazy. The reclaimer staggered, reaching out blindly. His visor flickered. Zari moved like lightning. She drove her blade through his side, finding a weak point between plates. The reclaimer growled in pain but didn't fall. She kicked him backward, and Kale fired 2 bolts into his chest. The enemy dropped to one knee, system sparking. Zari hit the cockpit controls. Engines on. Lift off now. The ship shuddered and rose from the junk pile. Dust and metal flew in all directions. The reclaimer tried to reach the ramp, but Kale hit the button and sealed it shut just as they lifted clear. Inside, the fog began to fade. Matt leaned against the wall, shivering. Okay. That worked. Zari looked over at him. You always this reckless? He gave a half grin. Only when I'm fixing people instead of machines. Kale sat at the co-pilot seat. We need a safe place, somewhere the reclaimer won't follow. Somewhere we can share the truth. Zari looked at the data file blinking on the screen. There's an old Inari satellite, dead for years. But if we can reach it, we can broadcast the truth to every channel in this quadrant. Matt grinned. Sounds like we just got ourselves a mission. Zari nodded, eyes on the stars ahead. This wasn't just about surviving anymore. It was about justice. Asterisk. The stars stretched across the black like glowing scars. Inside the small ship, silence pressed in. Zari sat at the controls, guiding them through empty space, while Matt worked under a flickering panel, tools in hand, and Kale monitored the tracking signals with a tense frown. They had escaped Sector 9, but not the danger. The reclaimer's not dead, Kale said quietly. My scans picked up a small beacon spike right after takeoff. He must have placed a backup drone outside. Zari didn't look away from the screen. Then he knows we're in the air. Matt muttered under his breath as he tightened a coolant line. Can this guy ever give up? No, Kale replied. He's not just a man. He's a system. One designed to remove evidence like us. Zari entered new coordinates. The satellite I told you about, it's codenamed Echo 12. It was abandoned after the Third Orbital War. But its cord transmitter might still work. If I can sync the file into its grid, we can send the truth everywhere. Matt straightened. You really think people will believe it? Zari looked at him, her eyes serious. They don't have to believe it, they just need to see it. Kale leaned back, still watching her scanner. We've got about an hour before we reach it. Less if we boost the engines. But Zari turned. What? There's a faint heat signature following us. Could be a cloaked drone or, worse. Matt tossed his wrench aside. We can't fight out here. We're barely keeping the stabilizers running. Zari stood. Then we prepare something they won't expect. Matt blinked. Like a weapon? No, she said. A message. She led them into the back of the ship where the main systems were located. A thick cable ran from the core to the interface port. She opened it and sat down, removing part of her suit collar to reveal the data connection in her spine. Kale crouched beside her. You're sure you want to do this now? If I die before we reach Echo 12, at least the data will be ready. You two can finish what I started. Matt stepped forward. Zari, I didn't fix your leg just to watch you throw your life away. She looked up at him. I'm not. I'm giving it meaning. He didn't speak after that. Kale activated the uplink. Beginning extraction. This will hurt. Zari closed her eyes and nodded. The ship dimmed as power surged into the interface. Data flowed from her spine. Old logs, encrypted messages, battle recordings, and voice files long thought erased. Zari clenched her jaw, her fingers trembling. As memories poured through her mind like cold fire, She saw Velanthe again, her commander. Kale's father telling her to run while he stayed behind. She saw the footage from the destroyed scout ship, showing the secret attack that started the war. And she saw something she hadn't noticed before. Human general laughing as he watched the Inari ship explode on a hidden camera. Zari gasped. Her body jerking. Matt grabbed her shoulder. Zari! Kale pulled the plug. The transfer was complete. Zari opened her eyes slowly, sweat on her brow. It's all there. Even more than I remembered. Kale inserted the chip into the core. We just need the satellite signal array now. But before she could speak again, the ship jolted violently. The lights flickered. Alarms blared. Matt rushed to the cockpit. We've been hit. Zari pulled herself up. How? Kale ran to the scanner. Something just uncloaked behind. U.S. small, fast plasma cannon just grazed our hull. Zari took the controls. Can we outrun it? No chance, Kale said. It's faster and reading our moves. Matt looked out the side viewport. I think I see its small black ship, no lights, no ID markings. Zari narrowed her eyes. The reclaimer. He had found them again. Kale. Grip the weapon system. We only have 2 torpedoes left. We're not aiming for him, Zari said. We aim for the Echo. Matt stared at her. You want to crash? No. We just need to get close enough to eject the chip and fire it toward the satellite's dish. It'll sync the signal and auto-broadcast. That's all we need. Kale's hands hovered over the controls. That's a one-way path. We can't stop in time. Zari met her eyes. That's why I'll stay at the controls. You two take the escape pod. I'll handle the rest. Matt shook his head. No way. We do this together. Kale looked torn. Zari, it's your data. But Ned just mine anymore, Zari said. It's our fight. Another. Blast rocked the ship. Sparks rained from the ceiling. Kale swore. We're almost there. Satellite in sight. Zari pushed the engines to full thrust. Get to the pod. I'll follow when the upload begins. Kale nodded, grabbing Matt by the arm. We go on your signal. Zari looked once more at the stars ahead. The broken satellite loomed now, spinning slowly in the dark. She was ready. She had been running for too long. Now. It was time to face the truth with fire and light. Asterisk. The abandoned satellite drifted slowly through space, its surface cracked and blackened by time. Faded markings glowed faint blue, remnants of a long-dead alliance. As Zari's ship approached, its engines screamed from overload. Smoke poured. From the side vents. Inside the cockpit, Zari gripped the controls tight. Behind her, the escape pod launched Matt and Kale inside. The reclaimer ship was still closing in. Lasers charging again. Zari had seconds. She lined up her approach with the satellite's main dish. The targeting lock beeped. She reached to the core and pulled out the chip that held everything: battle recordings, secret orders, Velande's final transmission. Her hand shook slightly as she placed the chip into the auto-transfer. Cannon. The screen blinked. Target. Locked. Upload trajectory ready. Zari hit the button. The cannon fired. The chip launched from her ship and shot toward the satellite like a blue comet. It entered the receiver port with a small spark. The satellite woke. A pulse rippled from its core. Inside the floating relic, ancient lights flickered to life. Rotating arms extended. The old broadcast dish angled toward nearby systems. Then the satellite began transmitting. All channels, all languages, all frequencies, across dozens of sectors, across ships, planets, outposts, and bunker. Screens flickered. Soldiers paused. Refugees looked up. Captains stood frozen. The truth began to play. A voice, Zari's voice. This is Zari of the Inari people. I carry a message buried by war and covered in lies. The reclaimer's ship fired again. Zari's ship shook violently. The rear exploded. Flames spread. Warnings blared. Still, she stayed at the controls. She watched the transmission play on her screen. She heard the voice of Commander Vilande. I served to protect both Inari and human lives. What I learned. They killed me for, but now you will know. Images followed footage of the first secret strike by human warships, edited reports, silenced witnesses. Then, a final clip. A message from a human senator, laughing as he erased a file. Zari smiled through the smoke. It was working. The reclaimer's voice burst through her comms. You've destroyed balance. Do you know what you've done? She answered calmly. I gave it back. He fired again. Her ship was hit full on, metal tore apart. Flames swallowed the cockpit, and Zari closed her eyes. Elsewhere in the tiny escape pod, Kale and Matt stared at the satellite. The signal was strong. The truth had spread. Kale whispered, She did it. Matt didn't speak. His jaw clenched. His hands trembled. She gave her life, Kale said softly, so the galaxy could know. She should have made it, Matt whispered. She deserved more. Suddenly, the escape pod's monitor beeped. A weak signal. Emergency beacon Zari's code. Kale gasped. She's alive. They turned toward the source. Debris floated across space, and from it, a small escape capsule drifted. Burned, cracked, but sealed. Kale activated the retrieval clamp. The pod reeled it and Matt opened the hatch. Inside, unconscious and burned, but breathing, was Zari. He pulled her into the pod gently. You stubborn warrior, he whispered. You really don't quit. Kale checked her pulse. She'll make it. Matt smiled, tears in his eyes. She'll walk again. And this time, with no pain. Hours later, on a peaceful medical outpost orbiting a quiet moon, Zari awoke. She blinked against the bright ceiling lights. Her body ached, but her mind was clear. Kale sat beside her, smiling. Welcome back. Matt leaned over, holding her hand. You scared us, but we patched you up. Again. Zari smiled weakly. How long? 4 days, Kale said. The broadcast changed everything. Sectors are rebelling. Officials are being questioned. Velande's name is being honored. And the reclaimer? She asked. Matt answered. Vanished. Damaged in the blast. No trace since. Zari looked at them. Then it's not over. No, Kale said. But the truth is out now, and they can't unsee it. Zari sat up slowly. Her leg moved smoothly. No pain. I don't know how to thank you, she whispered. Matt chuckled. Just keep walking. That's all I wanted. Kale stood. There's more to do. The galaxy's waking up. You started something. Zari nodded. Then we finish it. Together, the three of them stepped out of the medbay and into the sunlight of the station's inner dome. Below them, screen still played the broadcast. The message that started a new chapter. Zari watched, hand resting on Matt's arm. She had been broken, rejected, hunted. But now, she had found a purpose. And people who stood with her. And that was more powerful than any machine or war. It began with one human offering help, and it ended with a world ready to change.